This is the McDonald's Sports Extra with Sports Director Jeff Phelps. Brought to you by McDonald's.
Hi, and welcome to the McDonald's Sports Extra. They've played only 3 games so far, but as promised, the Cavaliers are playing a little quicker style of basketball, and they are a lot more athletic than they've been in the last few years. But since they are still the Cleveland Cavaliers, naturally, there has to be some injury trouble. Point guard Bob Sura's left ankle is still a problem. He injured it in the final preseason game. He's played on it even though that it's still kind of sore, but that might change tomorrow. The Cavaliers say it's a game-time decision whether or not Bob Sura will play in Boston against the Celtics. If Sura doesn't play, this guy coming up, rookie Brevin Knight, will start at point guard, and Brevin looks ready to go. In the season opener at Houston, Knight was the Cavs' leading scorer with 18 points. And in the home opener against Indiana, here it is again. Knight made the shot in the final seconds that gave the Cavaliers that 3-point lead. That's a lot of composure for a 21-year-old in just his 3rd NBA game.
You got to grow up quick in this league if you want to survive. You know, you don't get too much time. The preseason is your time to grow up, you know, and for me, preseason was a little slow. I had the injury early on, so this is kind of like almost my preseason now. But I'm having fun. Playing against Houston and San Antonio definitely gets you ready right away.
I mentioned Brevin is 21 years old. He'll turn 22 on Saturday, so he'll spend his birthday playing the Atlanta Hawks at Gund Arena. That'll be fun. It's the basketball counterpart of the Cheesehead. Isn't he cute? The Antlerhead in Milwaukee tonight. Ray Allen gets the loose ball here for the Bucks. Out to Jimmy Jackson for the 76ers. Ray Allen lost. The Sixers lead this game over Milwaukee right now. It's 70-69 there in the 4th quarter. Seattle's Vin Baker in Canada. He was a little warm. Mainly trying to stay that way because he was in Toronto. And it kind of worked here, too. Vin Baker inside against the Raptors. Had 35 points tonight for the Seattle Supersonics. And they win in Toronto, 109-92. Okay, so the Indians didn't win the World Series, and the Florida Marlins did. But at least we know our team will be staying in Cleveland. The folks who went nuts in Florida after the Marlins won the series have no clue what's going to happen to their team. Marlins owner Wayne Huizenga is going ahead with his plan to sell the Marlins. He says it's to improve the chances of the team staying in Florida and of a new ballpark being built. Huizenga claims the Marlins lost $34 million last year.
Unless the new stadium is built, where luxury suite and all other revenue goes directly to the team, which will then enable the team to compete for the best players available in the free agency market. And if the team must remain here at Pro Player Stadium, then I do not believe that the Marlins will ever be in the World Series again.
Huizenga says that he wants to sell the Marlins to team president Don Smiley. Smiley now has 30 days to come up with roughly $150 million. It'll be a profit for Huizenga. He paid $95 million for the expansion fee to get the Marlins back in 1993. Well, even though the Marlins made the playoffs and won the World Series, Jim Leyland finished 7th in the voting for National League Manager of the Year. The winner, how about Dusty Baker of the San Francisco Giants? It's the 2nd time he's won the award. The Giants went from last place in 1996 to 1st place this year. Well, it's not exactly Ohio State against Michigan, but the Buckeyes and the Wolverines don't play for the wagon wheel. The Golden Flashes and the Zips do. It's that big local rivalry. Kent State against Akron. It's Saturday in the Rubber Bowl. Here's Gary Mendelow.
In almost every sport, an Akron-Kent game is something special. In basketball, the all-time series is tied at 50 wins each. And in football, Akron leads the battle with 19 wins to 18 for Kent. And, of course, there have been 2 ties.
This game is important in recruiting. This game is important pointing towards next season. It's important for our seniors. There's a lot of significance to it.
And this would make number 4 for us, which would be a feather in our cap, and that hasn't been done in 8 or 9 years over at Kent. And the other issue is we haven't won over there in 11 years.
Okay, what in the world would a hardware store have to do with preparation for a big rivalry football game? Well, Akron head coach Lee Owens recently purchased 100 links of chain to get across a very important motivational message to his team.
When you group together, you're strong, and how the team is only as strong as its weakest link, and we've tied a chain to that to say, hey, if anyone lets go, the whole team falls down. And we'd like to give each of our players a link of that chain just to have them remember what this game was all about.
These rivals point to this game as one of the biggest on the schedule, and they want to win. but the schools can actually help each other.
It's a competition of the two programs. They recruit better, we recruit better. They coach better, we coach better. They win more games, we win more games, until you get to a point where you have two championship caliber teams. And then you have a sold-out stadium and live television, and look what that would do for your programs. And there's enough players in this area to support that type of tradition at that level.
You certainly have to call this a friendly and fine rivalry. Gary Mendelos, Sports Extra.
Earlier in the season, we heard from the 60-year-old grandfather who was trying out for the Ashland College football team. Well, Edgar Barreto did more than just try out. There he is. Edgar practiced with the Eagles all year long, and on Saturday, he made his first appearance of the season. Here he goes. With 25 seconds left in Ashland's game with St. Francis, 60-year-old Edgar Barreto trotted onto the field and made history. He's the oldest person to play in an NCAA college football game. He lined up at defensive back, was in there for one play. So how was it, Edgar?
What a great story he was.
Well, I got lots of memories, you know. The first time I played a little bit, and then there's memories now. But these guys are the best, man. They're the toughest. They tried to teach me how to bring the wood.
We have no idea what Edgar just said there, but he was happy. More good news for Edgar. We've heard, and this is true, that he will be picked by NFL football analyst John Madden as a member of the All-Madden team. That's almost better than actually playing in the game, huh? Yes, it's true, by the way. The cheerleaders are getting younger every year. The Akron City Series Championship at the Rubber Bowl tonight. Garfield against Elliott. This is Garfield's Mike Morissette. Breaks through for 18 yards. Nice run, Mike, and that is definitely something to cheer about. Garfield wins this tonight. It's 20-12 over Elliott for the City Series title. In Dayton tonight, Stowe girls volleyball team serving in the State Division I semifinals against Westerville North. The Bulldogs setting it up for Melissa Butler, and Melissa comes through, gets the point. Stowe advances to the state finals, 15-5 and 15-7. Well, the only Cleveland team to win a world title since the 1964 Browns is having a little trouble right now. We'll see what's going on with the Cleveland Crunch in just a bit. Sports Extra. We'll be right back.
Here's a little ditty. It's very heartfelt, about $1.99 sandwich, McDonald's cheddar melt. A quarter-pound of pure beef is just the first course, because coming up next is our tangy cheddar sauce. And I can't forget the rye bun and the teriyaki onions. No doubt about it, it could feed a Paul Bunyan.
Did somebody say McDonald's? The cheddar melt for only $1.99. Add a Coca-Cola and fries for a great extra value meal.
Ready for the holidays? Spend them with us and spend less. Save by the foot or the feet. You're getting warmer. Feel the glow. You're all set. Nice touch. And just in time. This week, save up to 70%. Spend the holidays with us and spend less at Value City Department Store.
The sheer luxury of the BMW 740i from every angle. Plush appointments with thoughtful amenities surrounded by sleek, sophisticated styling. And every new BMW comes equipped with road-hugging all-season traction, because into each life, a little rain must fall. Stop dreaming. Start driving. BMW.
They may be inexperienced.
Just pass the bar.
Get the hell out of here. Get a license.
But they're perfectly matched.
My son is dying, and the insurance company won't pay for his treatment.
For the fight of their lives.
Deny all claims for a year, and most people give up.
I want to expose these people. Now, I'll see you in court. Do you even remember when you first sold out?
John Grisham's The Rainmaker.
There's nothing more thrilling than nailing an insurance company.
Directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Rated PG-13. Sneak preview Saturday, November 15th.
If anyone has seen the Cleveland Crunch team that made it to the NPSL finals each of the last 2 years, please call Crunch head coach Bruce Miller immediately. Bruce is desperately looking for his old team, because the Crunch that played the first 3 games this year would probably have a real hard time making the playoffs. The Crunchies are 1-2. They blew a 17-3 halftime lead to lose their last game at home to Milwaukee. But there is an explanation here. 4 of last year's top guys haven't even played yet because of injuries and suspensions.
Now, we've had a lot of young guys playing that wouldn't be really playing unless for those injuries. So, you know, it's a bit of a learning process for the young players, and just hopefully it'll help them down the stretch.
It does take a while to get used to the new guys, and so, you know, the first, 20 games of the season might not be as as pretty as expected, but you know, I think by the end of the year we'll be right there.
The Crunch plays at Milwaukee on Saturday, and they will get some help. All-star goalkeeper Otto Orff will be back for the first time this year. He was suspended. Then they'll be home against Montreal coming up on Sunday. This is Bill Murray. At the Kapalua Invitational. He's in Hawaii looking good.
Oh, God, that's going to be in Brazil. Look at that. Is Brazil that way?
Yeah, it is. And they do have clothing stores there, too, by the way, Bill.
16.
Of course, you don't have to dress like a golfer if you can make the 8-footer coming back for par, do you? Bill Murray, looking way too cool. Kept the hat and stripes, by the way. Very nice, Bill. Hey, guess who this is? Roger Clemens, the guy who signed with Toronto instead of the Indians and ended up watching the World Series on TV. Not that we're holding a grudge or anything.